Yo, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make dreamy or ambient hyperpop melodies from scratch. Okay, so I have this melody here, but my monitors were on the entire time while I was starting it off. So I'll just kind of go over what I said because you're just going to hear an echo if I use that part of the video. But I made a really simple chord progression with a lot of space in it to add other instruments. And I'm trying to utilize notes next to each other in the scale. I believe they're called chromatic notes and they give off more emotion. So I want to make this emotional and really dreamy sounding. So that's kind of what I'm going for. But yeah. Yeah, so this still feels really slow even though I boosted the BPM. So I'm gonna kind of switch around the notes, I guess, a little and try to make it a little faster. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete what I already did. Alright, so that's a cool bass melody. I'm gonna go ahead, duplicate that over twice. And then I'm just gonna copy this top line, the really simple one I did, and then just duplicate that up an octave. Maybe delete some of these. So that'll be pretty cool. And then I'm gonna do Control L. And then work on kind of filling in this gap, but leaving it still open enough that it really feels like there needs to be another instrument in there rather than the pluck taking up most of the melody and the other things being accents. Yeah, so I like that. That little top line there really fills in the gap. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool start to a melody. I think it'll really change when I throw it in Serum or Omnisphere and get a sound that's kind of softer with more delay on it. So I'm going to go ahead and look for a sound. Yeah, so I like this pluck. It's one of my go-to plucks. I think I used it in another video I did, but it's the Luck pluck from a Money XO bank. And yeah, so now I think I'm gonna put a sub bass just to fill in that low end to see what else it needs. I'm definitely gonna add some kind of lead and probably something like a gated pad just to like speed it up and give it a little bit more rhythm. All right, so I found this a bass here. It's the Force bass. I don't even know what kit it's from. It's from a synthwave kit, and I'm just gonna layer that with the bass notes. And it sounds like there's some kind of like detune on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure out why it sounds weird. Yeah, so it's this jacket bass from that Sunboy kit I like to use. So it sounds like that. Real cool. And just so I don't forget, I'm gonna take out the lows of the pluck and cut out some of the highs just to make space for a lead, so nothing really gets like mushy like together. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab a basic lead from Serum. Probably, I'll use this collapse lead, and then I'm gonna switch it out probably to something more ambient, but I just wanted to use this one because I like the way it sounds. And I wanted to copy this top line that I did. So I'm gonna copy that and then bring it down an octave. All right, so here's the basic lead pattern that I'm gonna use. And I put this F here at the end because I want to do like a higher section in that half, so that a glide up to F will kind of bring it that way. I don't know, just makes sense to me. Okay, so that actually sounds pretty cool, and I just kind of accidentally clicked that in, but because of the pause here, it does a crazy like bendy thing. I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm gonna go and find a different lead. Yeah, so this lead is a lot smoother. It's probably like a sine lead. Yeah, so it's using a sine wave instead of like a square or triangle. It'll just sound a little smoother. So here's all the melodies I have so far all together. So that's really cool. And there's one thing I want to change with the lead, which is in this pattern. Since I'm pretty sure in the last Hyperpop video, I showed what I've been doing for like intros and like just like a different melody, is I'll take the lead and like something else, like a bell with a lot of delay or a vox, and I'll reverse them. And this pattern will not sound very good if I don't take some of the notes out for when I reverse it. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of these out and then just try to give it a little bit more space. Yeah, so this will just give me that option of if I hear that I want to reverse it later when I'm arranging it, it'll be there. So I hear that at the beginning of the melody, it like takes a little bit to like kick in, I guess, because that lead doesn't start right at the beginning. So I'm gonna go grab a bell from Omnisphere and then put it on the 1 and the 4. Yeah, like where the open hat plays pretty much, just to fill up that little space, have it play a really high note and everything. So I kind of played out like a little pattern on the MIDI. So it's gonna go up to F, I think I played, and then down to this A, and then back. Yeah, so that sounds cool, but I am gonna have to take out a lot of the highs because it's kind of interfering with the lead, and also that just kind of hurts my ears. Yeah, and then since the lead is a lot crazier of a pattern in that section, I'm gonna take out the transition notes or the intermittent notes and just leave the 2 C notes and then that G at the end just to transition it to the next pattern. So this whole pattern will sound like this. That sounds really cool, but I'm still gonna have to EQ that some more and take out that harsh frequency because I'm still kind of getting that, but oddly only in my right ear, so it might have something to do with the delay. So I think I'm gonna add 2 more sounds, and I know this one sound, it's like the lullaby mallet, and of course that same Sunboy Cakes, it's really good. I just want this to copy, I think these notes is what I was hearing in my head. So that's going to sound really cool in the background. And I copied that over wrong. There we go. And how I moved it over like that was holding shift and then clicking an arrow key. And then I'm going to grab a Vox because I'm not really sure how to make my own like Hyperpop vocal chops yet. I just have to figure out the right effect chain. But I'm probably just going to grab that retake Vox. This is the one I always use and it always works. And I'm going to turn off that bell because I want it to come in when that bell isn't coming in because it's going to play roughly the same notes. Alright, so that's pretty much going to be it for the melody so far. I think it's a pretty full and dreamy sounding melody. Oh, there's another word for it. I swear, I just saw it the other day.
Ethereal.
Ethereal. Extremely delicate and light. For sure. This is a very ethereal melody. We're using the big boy words out here. But yeah, here it is unmixed, and then I'm going to go ahead and mix it, and then I'll show you what I did. And then I think I'm going to try to go really hard on the arrangement and making it sound a lot different than how it is right now. All right, so I'll say this about mixing. I know I have a tutorial of like roughly what I do, but for me at least, it's very important to level everything. So I know it's all coming in at the same volume, so it's easier to get a clean mix. I think it's called gain staging, but I highly recommend you do that. All right, so this is roughly what I'm going to do for the mixing. I might change it around later after I hear the arrangement, but I already showed these two things on the pluck. I just added an imager. And then this is the mallet. So I just kind of cut out where the first pluck was sitting and boosted where it needed a little bit more of a little bit high end. And then just a teeny bit of reverb and then a little bit of an imager just to widen it out. And then on the lead, I boosted the highs. And then I already showed what I did on the bell. And on the Vox, I just EQ'd so it boosted the highs and took this weird frequency out where the plucks were sitting. Added a ping pong delay and then pancake. And then on the bass, I just boosted the lows and cut out everything that wasn't the lows pretty much. So yeah, now I'm going to get into the arrangement. I'm probably just going to time lapse this or something or skip it because it might take me a while. But yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to grab the sections of the lead and the Vox that I left more open, select that area, go to the mixer, hit the little record button, and then do Alt-R, and record that out. Then delete those two sections, because now I have it as an audio file. And I'm probably just going to work on it up here. So that sounds pretty cool, so I'm going to duplicate it down one, make it unique, pitch it up an octave, and reverse it. And it has this weird tail on it, so I'm going to have to figure out where it actually starts and ends. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and take out this weird section here. Wait, that transition might actually be hard. Nah, that's not gonna work. But that would be cool if I could figure that out. But I'm gonna go ahead and route those two things to the mixer, pan them slightly to opposite sides, and then just add some effects. Mm. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna add a shaper box to the non-pitched up one. Alright, so I think that's gonna be pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay this out real quick and then come back and let you know. Alright, so this is pretty much gonna be the arrangement of it. I didn't do anything too special. I just had that reversed sample part of it come in and out throughout. That made no sense, but it comes in and out in the melody or whatever. And then I ended up not using the Vox that much because I felt like it was too like repetitive, too much, like there wasn't enough space between it, so I only used it twice. And then I switched this pluck out right before it should drop into the drums. I switched that out for the third pattern I made earlier, where everything's duplicated up an octave. So I'm gonna record all this and then pitch it up probably because it's at C minor, I think. So that'll be really weird for an 808 to play that low if you want to copy the bass notes. Alright, so now that I have that recorded, I'm going to move it up to there. And then I'm going to route this to the mixer. and cut the lows. But I'm going to set it as an automation, so it only comes in when it should come in. So like right here, when the 808 should come into the beat. Like wherever the bass isn't, the lows will be completely gone, so the person making the drums won't have to EQ it themselves. So it's just a nice little touch to add, a finishing touch. So I actually didn't end up pitching it up or down, because I really like the way it sounds right now. But yeah, this is pretty much going to be it for the video. I'll play the final loop with drums on it probably after this, but thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all the support and growth on the channel. It's actually kind of crazy. I never expected to like actually have people like commenting and stuff, so that's pretty cool to like interact with people. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your afternoon.